sister's a therapist and I tell jokes. We both want to help all kinds of folks.
Hello, and welcome to My Sister's a Therapist. My name is Virginia Jones, and I'm a stand-up comedian whose main credit is doing it for 20 years without quitting. But I have a sister who is a therapist.
Hello, I'm Laura Ryan. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, but my main credit is sister to the bandit of belly laughs, Virginia Jones. I too have been doing this for 20 years, so we have that in common.
In this show, we take turns looking up a topic and researching something and bringing it to the other person. This show is a little different because we have a special guest who has brought a topic to us. Allow us to introduce you to Maria Bamford.
Hi.
Hello. For our listeners, we do have a lot of obviously comedy enjoyers, but we have a lot of therapists and regular Joes. So I'm going to tell the people a little bit about you. This is Maria Elizabeth Sheldon Bamford. She is the dog mom to Max and Muffin, which is probably her most important credit. She has done, to my knowledge, 5 comedy specials. She has so many credits, but I picked my favorite ones. The Comedians of Comedy, amazing classic. The Sarah Silverman Program. The Kroll Show. She played a character, Virginia, named Denise Ryan. She was a lady who smothered pugs for fun. I think she was keeping the Ryan name going in a positive way. Arrested Development. She, of course, played Debris Bordeaux. And in Haunted Hotel, because I have a 12-year-old, I think of Maria as the hall shrieker, a young woman who fell out of an apple tree and is on this cartoon that I watch with my child all the time. She's also a published author, Weakness is the Brand, and Sure, I'll Join Your Cult. She's about to be premiering at Sundance in the film called Paralyzed by Hope, the Maria Bamford story.
That's so much stuff.
And that's like a 10th of your stuff.
Laura was always a fan, but she really locked in Lady Dynamite. She was
Lady
really
Dynamite is my main thing. And I actually have a quote from Lady Dynamite to introduce your topic, which is toxic friendships or when to leave a friendship that's not going well. That was the topic you brought to us.
Yes.
In the show, Lady Dynamite, my favorite show, your blind date says, Larissa says, you think you're really funny and you have a lot of mental illness. So this is your friend who's introducing you to this date. Is this based on a real story?
No, it isn't. But I feel like friendships are just as intense as romantic relationships, except you can take a break with friendships. You can go, oh, I'm going to be out of town for a while. You don't have to discuss it at length.
It doesn't have to be an official breakup.
Yeah.
You can take a break without ending a relationship.
I don't know if this is still going on, but I remember this being bandied about. You just got to get yourself away from toxic people. But I'm toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like, how high is this bar going to be? I 1099'd a friend without warning them that they're going to have a tax burden. They did not talk to me for about a month. What else have I done? Oh, I flirted with a guy that a friend liked. Now, that person, my friend, already had a boyfriend, but it was a little odd.
You should have checked it out.
Checked it out. I'm sure there's plenty of nonsense that I've been up to or irritating character traits.
Some would call them character defects.
What? Are you a stepper?
I used to work in a rehab facility, so I have a lot of experience with the steppers. Virginia, you have something to read. It's from Tik Tok. I don't know if you've heard of this yet, Maria. It's this app that the kids are into.
Maria's mom has been very active on TikTok. Postmortem.
Well, I was going to say, lately, how does that work?
There's a trend on TikTok where they play inspirational music. It's like a decision you have to make or an opportunity that you have. And it says it's very important. You do it or don't do it. In your 20s, there will be a friend that has secretly hated you your whole friendship. It's very important. You run far, far away from them and never speak to them again.
Oh, wow.
I think another challenge specifically in Los Angeles is that if you're running away from toxic people, Maria, you are not going to have any friends because
there's no people left.
We've discussed earlier that people who are in show business are mentally ill. It's not a bug, it's a feature.
Well, I want to argue that it doesn't matter what business it is. Everybody is banana pants. My sister has 5 very close friends who she's had for 30 years. And there's ongoing nonsense. I won't speak on their behalf because of differing religious, political beliefs about wine. Sometimes people have really strong feelings about wine.
That's going to end a lot of friendships.
I genuinely don't believe it's different from any other community. The one thing that's very lovely about it is that you know straight out what somebody's issue is because they've talked about it for 10 minutes on stage.
Right. They get off stage. Okay. Yeah.
You hate your wife, and you do. You
And
do
it's real.
hate
You're
your
not
wife.
kidding.
You're not
You're acting like it's a bit, but you actually do hate your wife.
I know we throw around the word narcissist a lot. It's very trendy, but you kind of have to be a little bit of a narcissist to pursue stand-up comedy. I feel that I'm important enough that I need to stand on stage and people just need to listen to me.
Or you have to have really low self-esteem.
Some people, I think, are just normals. They just enjoy the process, and it's sort of like a business. I've heard, did you watch the documentary Comedian, which is about Jerry Seinfeld developing a new hour? And he seemed very even keeled about the whole
Business-like.
thing. Yeah,
I
it's
thought
like,
he
wow.
seemed really mentally ill.
Really? Okay. Well, the mentally ill part was making the young comic look bad in the editing.
Right.
That was
Yeah, that's
really
weird.
too bad. There's no need.
I just thought, God, he's really OCD. I just remember thinking he seems so depressed. On his show, obviously people have written the character for him, and in his stand-up, he's playing a role. I thought he was a lot higher functioning than this.
And the sickness of Los Angeles is that that's Orny Adams's credit. It doesn't matter that he was made to look bad. He's made his bread and butter on that for a decade.
That's great that he can take it. That was a hard one even to watch. And at least to me, it seemed mean-spirited.
It is mean-spirited, and it is the core of masculine friendships, this constant pecking order. I was on a show last night, and I was listening with half an ear to these two guy comics talking about this thing that this third guy comic got, but he shouldn't have got it. It should have been this other guy comic. I'm like, okay, all right, sure. That's just how they do it.
There are some quotes from the TikTok from Chelsea Marie. One of the ones I liked was from a user named Jax. I brought her into my 30s, and that was the biggest mistake I've ever made.
Bringing that toxic friend.
Yeah. She's a friend that secretly hated you your whole friendship.
And how is that demonstrated in the friendship?
I can tell you in my experience, the people that hate me, they didn't make it out of my 20s. What I noticed was there was a sense of competition. I have to make you look bad in front of other people. I have to point out to a group of people, if there's a boy you like in the group, even better. But I'm going to have to point out what a loser you are and how dumb you are. And if you have something going on, I have to try to make my thing better than your thing. Do you have any experience with that, Maria?
Yes. The call is coming from inside the house in terms of I am probably my worst critic or slanderer. The abuse cycle. I've read a lot about that, of the initial love bombing of a friend going, you're the greatest, you're the most wonderful, I love you. And then slowly picking you apart and expressing rage. That's the romantic. I've read about that.
It's a cycle of violence. They found out that was discovered in Duluth, Minnesota, my hometown.
Does Diane know about
Well, that's who I wish I could be all the time. I would like to be someone who is well-spoken and confident. I wouldn't stutter while trying to tell you all my ideas, and I would know how the sentence was going to end.
That's why you have to have it written down ahead of time, like I do.
I'm very attracted to a certain kind of personality that we could call borderline. Over and over again, I would have this experience where I would meet a girlfriend. She would love bomb me. She would tell me about how I was the greatest person on earth. And then she would list out all the people in her past who were absolute pieces of crap who had betrayed her.
Yes.
And it took a while for me to recognize one day I will be on that list.
Be the trash.
No, I am special. I am different. I am a better friend than those other people. Nope.
Yeah. I've had it happen where a friend said, hey, I need a break from you, Maria Bamford. So took 3 years off and said, I'm going. And I was like, that's cool. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. She came back. She was like, do you want to be friends again? And I'm like, yeah.
I think that's a really grown-up way to deal with it on the part of your friend. I would just start acting passive-aggressive until the person went away. I think it's actually very adult to say, hey, I need a little breaky break.
I have a friend who has kind of stepped away and hasn't said they're stepping away, but it's like, I feel it. Yeah, just let them step away. It's okay. Sometimes people don't want to talk about it, and it's okay. I love this person, and who knows what's going on. But if something is going on that they want to tell me about, they will tell me. I got to trust that. I always feel sad. It just feels so like such a failure when you lose a friend. I like the idea that everybody goes home, band of brothers.
But not every relationship is built for that. They have that saying, some friendships are for a reason, some are for a season, and some are for a lifetime. I think it's kind of crappy to back away and not tell you why.
But maybe they're not equipped to.
Yeah, I think that's the truth. Just not being equipped to. And they'll probably tell me at some point. My sister has backed away from me, certainly many times. This is embarrassing, but for over 30 years, she asked me not to do impersonations of her. And I said, what? I just could not get it in my head that she's my older sister. She gets to win all the time. I get to do this. Then our parents both died. And I was like, she's everything I have. I should stop doing impersonations of her. So I did stop talking about her in writing and my work or whatever, which doesn't take that much effort, frankly. It's very easy. And she's now started sharing stuff with me, all the stuff that I didn't know about because she was so
She had to protect herself.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm like,
wow.
oh,
Yeah.
I'm such an idiot.
But are you, or is this like your whole job?
It's an
Virginia
artist.
has stuff in her routine about me, and acceptance is the key to all my problems today.
I
Nice.
tell stories about Laura. My part is I try not to make her look bad. So I think
Yes.
it's okay if it doesn't make her the butt of the joke or the punchline.
My sister lives in a smaller town.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's how my jokes have always been, in a way that she doesn't want to be perceived.
A bumpkin or something.
A super achiever, go-getter, like not negative, but it is definitely a character. Sister friendship is a friendship like any other. This blood bond does not mean they have to talk to you. We have a relative who has not talked to me in 13 years. We just figured out. I used to be very sad about it and then mad about it and flip around all these feelings. But my attitude now is, buddy, if your life really is better without me in it, that's what I want you to have.
Yeah. Oh,
You know?
yeah.
You know, Virginia and I have taken breaks from each other at different times as
Yeah.
well.
We sure have.
Can you imagine with this incredible relationship that you're now hearing on this podcast? I'm going to tell you something from an article, 13 Signs Your Best Friend is Toxic from Bustle. Even if they're not always rosy, non-toxic friendships generally make you feel good about yourself.
Mm.
Healthy friendships and relationships provide a space in which you're able to feel safe, supported, and valued as an individual. And as a result, one can get through life challenges, develop healthy self-esteem, and cultivate a sense of belonging and trust in the world, says Claudia Segala, LCSW.
That's wonderful.
Right?
With close relationships, it can be even harder to answer that age-old question, is my friend toxic? Often these people have been in your life for years or even decades. That's a lot longer than most romantic relationships last. But just because they've been there forever doesn't mean that they're good for you. So this is a list of ways you can tell if your best friend is toxic.
You know they're toxic when you're around them because after you're in their presence, you just don't feel like yourself, says relationship expert Audrey Hope. If you keep up a certain facade around them, if you feel scared or uncomfortable, that's your intuition telling you to cut your losses and bounce before it gets worse.
It's getting to be like a Jeff Foxworthy bit. You might be a toxic friend.
Yeah.
If everyone around you feels uncomfortable, I've had that where I'm with the person and then I leave and I feel worse than when I
feel wrung
first
out.
got there.
Yeah, I think more with romantic relationships where I felt crushed. Someone's been a buzzkill, like you said. I'm so excited about this. And they're like, ah,
Right.
stupid.
And the friend doesn't have to be perfect. Being a friend is also being a human, being two humans together.
Yes. Yeah.
I had a friend who I had for a long time. She was someone I knew in Portland, and then we continued to be friends. I just realized the last couple of conversations, they had been super critical and super negative and left me feeling like a worn out dish rag. I don't know if this is a person I want to have in my life anymore. And I didn't do the mature thing. And I wish I had been more proactive. Hey, it seems like you're really unhappy and you're really blaming people for a lot of stuff. And it just doesn't feel good to talk to you right now.
Yeah. I had one particular thing where it was a really stressful part of my life. And my friend got mad that I scheduled a celebration when she wasn't going to be in town. But also, I should have just acknowledged she really feels abandoned and not said, oh, you shouldn't feel that way. That's crazy. And I didn't say that, but I definitely didn't reschedule the event. Then it turned out it was like many things where I started to feel it wasn't a fun time. Invited to a party they hosted. And at the time I was single, and they didn't tell me that it was just couples. It was just 3 couples and then me. Come on now.
You gotta give a heads up.
No. This is unkind. But also people do things that'll be fun. And I still feel a bit sad because I've seen that person since then. And It's okay. There's only, how many friendships are you supposed to have at a time?
As many as you want.
Laura and I have talked about this because Laura really has a great friend group that she has put a lot into, and they have put a lot into her. And my friendships are frequently a lot more ephemeral. My friendships are time and place based a lot of the time. And I'm reconnecting with people now that I'm back in Portland. When I was in LA, I had other people.
Yeah.
Laura says the difference between making a friend is how many hours and making a good friend is how many hours.
It takes a certain number of hours to move to an acquaintance and then to move to a friendship. According to the internet, it takes 30 to 60 hours to form a casual friendship, 50 hours to establish a real friendship, 140 for a good friendship, and about 300 hours for a best friend.
In that case, my same best friend from college is still my best friend because I don't think I've spent 300 hours with anybody else. I know that Maria has a solid chunk of time in with Jackie.
Our former guest and friend of the show, Jackie.
Yes. Oh my God, she's so great. And she's a great friend.
Yeah.
She'll bring peanut butter and jelly sandwiches on the trip. She'll take pictures of things that she wants to buy for you, but will not, which is so beautiful. That's the best. But thank you for
this. Made you think of you. Yes. I've got one way you can tell it's a toxic friendship. They make you feel small. All that criticism without empathy is bound to put you in a loop of thinking you're less than. A friendship is supposed to be about making your life better. In comedy, I think we have a lot of acquaintances that we might feel are friends because we have a weird fake intimacy of hearing things about them on stage.
Yeah.
And spending a lot of time together. I was talking to Jeff Tate, and when I first moved to Portland, he was like, oh man, I've been friends with Virginia for 11 years. I realized later, no, I've met Virginia 11 years ago. We haven't been close that whole time. How many friendships do you have room in your life for? That's a fair question.
How can you be a good friend to the amount of people you know?
Yeah.
I remember some social experts said that friendships are like the rings on a tree. In our center ring, we have the most important people. So that's our family and our closest friends. And then we have different rings. And for him, the final ring of the tree is the people on your Christmas card list, like people who you want to keep in touch with, but they're not exactly friends. Like your friend was saying, I feel like what I do sometimes is I'll bump you. Maybe you were in the center ring and you get bumped a couple back for a while. And then maybe you get to come back in the middle, or maybe you never come back to the middle.
What are the signs of toxic friendship? Because we only got one.
Okay.
We got diverted.
An unhealthy friendship is one that makes you feel bad about yourself, says psychologist Nikki Martinez. The person builds themselves up by putting you down and is always pointing out things about you to make you feel badly about yourself. It's been a long time since I've had one of these.
Yeah.
But I have had them. I definitely had them in high school. I would say something to the effect of, you make me feel bad about myself, so I'm going to go. You run into these people every once in a while. When someone puts you down, you have to keep in mind that they think that you need putting down because you're better than them. It sounds like an expression of, I'm better than you, but it is an expression of, I want to push you down so I can be on top. The constant churn of human envy.
Yeah.
When I talk to male comics, it's this stuff a lot. Well, you wouldn't know anything about that.
This is why I stopped being friends with men, because I don't enjoy someone trying to make me feel crappy about myself.
I guess I have 2 male friends.
I have 2, but I used to have mostly male friends.
Okay. I don't understand what it's like to be a dude, to feel like, oh, someone could pick a fight with me.
And beat you up for
just because
no
I'm
reason.
tall.
Right. Or because you're short.
If I'm doing the wrong thing in front of this male friend, my masculinity is going to be questioned. If I'm not wearing the right pants or holding the right spoon, I feel bad for them in a way, but also screw them.
Yeah.
So another sign of toxic friendship is that they're never accountable, and you are accountable. They never seem to show up when it's their turn to shoulder some blame. One sign of an unhealthy friendship is when you're always taking the fall for your friend, says Samantha Daniels, a professional matchmaker and founder. If your friend does something wrong, they should take the blame and be accountable for their actions. Have you ever had that happen, Maria?
Yeah. From their point of view, I would think they wouldn't think that was true, but wishing that somebody would say, hey, I'm really sorry for my part. But I also think that time has to pass. When I got married, I'm currently getting a divorce, but got married, a lot of my friendships changed. Yeah, it's weird. It's just weird, which was sad for me because I felt like I wouldn't accept that now. I would go, oh, let's integrate all my friends, we all have to know my sweet pea and vice versa.
So do you
But
feel
if-
like you started doing more couple-oriented things and people were left out?
I tried to keep people apart from each other because there's a disconnect. And so I wanted to make sure that I felt comfortable all the time. That's my part in it, is me going, you go here, okay, you're here. Oh no, oh no.
Right.
Well, it's not managing your life properly. Your life needs to be integrated.
And it's not friendship. It's not love. It's not
No.
going.
If everyone's in a silo, it's not really
Yeah.
friendship.
Or if there's a seating plan where it's like, you never sit next to so-and-so. And there's a wall between these people. I put a wall up.
Sometimes your friends don't get along with your friends, and that can be tricky. In LA, I developed this list of grudges. And mostly it was just ego stuff. I don't think they were very nice to me. It usually wasn't betrayal. And I'm telling Laura how much I'm trying to avoid that in Portland because it just makes my life bad. Going like, who's going to be at the party?
I totally try to go where the love is. Yeah, I feel more comfortable here. Or, this is awesome. I was at a show the other night. I was like, what is triggering me? Where I just feel like, I gotta get out of here. And I think it's a high school thing. Oh, I'm fearful that I'm not cool. And it's so blatantly, disgustingly uncool. But I don't know if that's the fault of the venue or the people in it. I couldn't even tell you exactly. I think it was a packed show. I don't like a packed show. I like something where people are not certain, but they're like, there's 5 people in the back. There's 2 people in the front.
You don't want to know that a lot of people like you.
Right? I want to go, isn't that just fascism? Everyone's afraid not to look like they're laughing. I want an audience that's mixed in their response.
That's getting harder and harder because Maria has some diehard fans. So that makes it hard for you to be in a room of people you need to convince.
And also, that's not totally true. I do love just a great loving crowd, but shows with celebrities, I'll get really anxious. And it's not the celebrity's fault. I just go, it's so weird that you're here.
Why are you coming to my show?
Snoop Dogg is backstage.
Yes. That's when you know you've arrived.
Only once. I couldn't believe it.
Snoop Dogg doesn't know where he is, so why should you feel anxious?
In a healthy relationship, one must feel safe to express themselves without fear of being rejected, reprimanded, or shamed. People who are prone to toxic dynamics often know what will make you feel guilty, especially when you're already close friends. If they're always pulling those strings, it's time to move on. I definitely have had friendships where there were topics that were capital N not to be discussed. And that feels strange. It's around this guy or this thing that happened. And that always makes me feel like I'm on my guard a little bit. That doesn't make for a fun time.
Yeah, I had this friend was telling me about their friendship crew. My friend doesn't like talking about deep stuff with their friendships. And when I say deep, that's a judgment. Let's get into it, man. Wearing the bracelet from the psych ward today. Let's cut it off together in a ribbon cutting ceremony. My friend was saying, yeah, they're doing cocaine and they're drinking and they haven't told their wife, but they work out of town. So they just don't tell their wife, and their wife would totally leave them if they knew they were doing cocaine and a ton of other drugs while they're out of town. Say what? Well, I'm not going to go to dinner with them. Like,
That's not a healthy person that I want to know.
yeah, I did have a boyfriend at one point whose best friend was an active anorexic bulimic person. And I have been an active anorexic bulimic. So I know what's going on. I see you.
You know the game.
Binge the whole meal and then go to the bathroom and then come back and order more. There's no conversation happening here that's important. Yeah, we're talking about movies. No, let's talk about what is actually happening in this scene. This scene.
That is hard when you can see them struggling, that they think that they're fooling you. I think that that's a hard thing about friendships with addicts, even if they're not active. An addict has always thought that they were clever enough to hide this secret. I think it affects even their sober life sometimes.
I guess I feel like I'm too old for this crap. I don't need to be messing with folks who are this early in their journey to mental health. I need to have folks who are vibrating around the same level that I am. And if you're really, really away from that, it means I'm going to have to start working in my free time. And I don't want to do that.
Also, some people do have late in life addictions where they just go, I've never done this before.
I heard meth was kind of fun.
And yeah, I've had a friend who always been a social drinker, but then over the years ended up almost dying of alcoholism when they turned 60, is now in recovery. But the alcoholism didn't show itself until the last 7 years of their friendship.
And those lines are a lot blurrier than people think. People say,
Yeah.
oh, I am an alcoholic. Oh, I'm not an alcoholic. Your relationship with alcohol can become unhealthy whenever.
That's true. I have a friend who recently got sober. She's now been sober for a year and some change. And I'm really proud of her. And
That's great.
it is great. Also, her drinking did not negatively impact our relationship. I could continue to be her friend, and we didn't have a big fight or we didn't have big ruptures in the relationship. Speaking of the guilt idea, your friend who's saying, Maria, you have decided to have a party of your own volition on a weekend when I'm out of town. If that became a regular theme in our relationship, I would really struggle with that. You're making me responsible for stuff that's not really mine.
There's more moving parts in having a party and having a celebration than just this one person.
Well, and at the same time, I don't know what it's like to be that person. I want to have some curiosity about my friend's experience. Part of the thing that makes them such a great friend in some ways is also part of the reason they're so sensitive about this particular topic. I do like the everybody goes home thing. We're going to find him, Private Ryan, because I know I've not been thoughtful. I'm a person, just thinking of different joke premises I've said. Oh my gosh, I did a character monologue a billion years ago about Overeaters Anonymous because I was in that for many years. And my sponsor at the time came to see the show and she's like, you just impersonated me. No. Let's know that it was me making jokes about myself and the program in general. And she's like, no, it was. Oh my God, satirizing things that are important to me. That seems fun to me. That seems so great. But then I can totally see the other side of it, of this tender topic that saved somebody's life. I'm going, guess what? Hilarious.
Guess what? You're imperfect.
Totally stupid. So we're going to talk about the final thing that makes relationships toxic. Toxicity is draining. A good indicator of how healthy the friendship is how it makes you feel, like we talked about before. Quote, we're supposed to be a better version of ourselves in our relationship and support each other's goals, end quote, says Clarissa Silva, MSW, a behavioral scientist. If that's not happening, it might be that you are surrounding yourself with toxic people. Over time, surrounding yourself with toxic people not only erodes your self-esteem and sense of self, it creates maladaptive patterns. And if you're feeling run down, worn out, or just fed up, there's a good chance you've got a toxic friend.
I mean, I definitely had that with the experience of divorce, going, hey, we just don't relate to each other in a way that I think is positive for either of us. And just realizing, okay, this pattern, despite the fact that we have done so much work on it, and despite the fact that we love each other, whatever it is, where we grew up in the different parts of the country. I'm from Minnesota. I don't want to feel bad about it anymore. And
I don't want to be around someone that makes me feel sad and crappy all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think when I've had that in a marriage thing, it's just going, if I'm feeling bad, they're going to feel bad too, even if it's not conscious on their level.
It's not fun for anybody.
That was where my marriage was. If I'm that unhappy in the marriage, guess what? He's not either. Nobody is.
Yeah, that can happen for our country. If one person's suffering, we're all suffering.
Yeah.
The human condition, we aren't capable of feeling joyful and free when you see that 3/4 of us are downtrodden and afraid.
Speak for yourself.
Oh, no.
Laura's really tickled herself.
I'm going to a protest in an hour, so I'm revving myself up.
Yeah. Awesome. What I've really enjoyed about all the protests is feeling like you're not alone, that everybody is
You're not crazy.
You're not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life feels like this onslaught of information. Does everyone think this is okay? How is anyone thinking that this is
didn't we have stuff in place that this wasn't going to happen?
friends and neighbors? Actually, that's been a good thing about being a therapist is I get to sit in a room and we both get to process this shared kind of traumatic experience together.
Yeah, that does feel so bad. I'm still going grocery shopping.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I
still
have to go to work when the house is on fire.
I still have to keep my body alive. I still have to keep my job. I still have to do all these things when outside is chaos. But part of having faith in the future is doing those things and taking care of myself and take care of my friends and loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I totally think that we should all be able to stay home and just vibrate all day when the outside is bad. Strengthening other relationships. If you find yourself in toxic friendships, invest in relationships with family and friends who support and uplift you. These positive interactions can help restore your belief in healthy friendships and provide comfort. When I really find myself in a close friendship with a toxic person, and I don't have to cut them out of my life. I don't have to move to Sardinia. I can just limit my exposure to them.
Could.
I can limit my exposure to them, and I can open myself up and open my time up to people who feed me. And there's a mutual support system. It's not just, I'm always solving your problems. I'm always available when you're having a crisis. Lord knows I've had friendships where I wouldn't hear from them for months. And then they would hit me up. I need to talk about this thing. I'm like, okay, I haven't heard from you in 6 months, but now you're going through a crisis.
Our relationship isn't balanced. Something that Virginia and I talk about a lot when you're looking at finding a healthy relationship, whether it's romantic or friendship. So I'm an Imago relationship therapist, which is a fancy title.
Oh,
I'm fancy.
I love it.
And one thing we learned in the training, it's called stud. So does this person show up for me? Does this person tune in to me when we're together? Does this person give me understanding? And does this person do their part for the relationship? And that's the basics for friendship, in my opinion.
God, that's beautiful. I'm going to write it down. Stud.
Yeah.
Stud. If you want to know how to be a good friend, just be a stud.
Just be a real stud. Say, you know what? I'm done with this friendship. I'm looking for a stud. I think female friendships, we don't give enough time and attention to them, especially in a world where we're centering men all the time. And what does he think of me? And what should I do? And I want to be chosen by him. In the last probably 10 years, I've tried to really activate female friendships and put time and energy into them. Try to seek healthy people, or at least people who are a good match to my level.
And I do like that seasonal thing of maybe the person will come back, that there is something about letting people come and go.
That's been a big win for me, is not taking it personally and saying, okay, well, whatever's happening, this isn't working for them right now. And that's okay. Maybe the next time they see me, I will have learned and grown, and it will not be the same issue as it was. I don't know.
Who knows?
I'm not perfect. I can't expect other people to be perfect, but I do expect other people to be studs.
If a relationship isn't working out, something that you can do is reflect on the experience. So taking time to think about friendship and its impact on you, understanding what went wrong and recognizing the patterns that you might want to avoid in future relationships so that you can learn from the experience and grow stronger. Every relationship I have, whether it's romantic or friendship, Virginia and I talk about this a lot. I don't think the ending of a relationship means that it was a failure. I just think it means that it ran its course and it's done. You both did your best. This was the best we could do. And this is what we ended up with.
Yeah, I feel like I'm closer with my soon-to-be ex-husband than ever.
There's no cards on the table.
There's no pressure anymore.
Yeah, well, and also there's a level of honesty. This is who you are. This is who I am. Let's accept it. It's okay. Let's stop trying to go, why are you?
Let's stop trying to squeeze a round peg into a square hole. We are both good people, but that doesn't mean that we're good people with each other.
Yes.
Right?
And that's my dream, is that we're great friends, because he is a great friend. Is he a stud?
I don't know. You haven't tried it out. You've only dated him. So you're going to have to find out.
Yeah, try to be a stud and try to attract other studs, I would say.
Regarding the friendships, I have a lot of people in my life who are what I would call twos, TU, because they do tune in and they do give understanding, but they don't show up for me when I need them and they don't do their part for the friendship. They're just not in the center circle. Studs are my main folks. There's some twos, there's some sids. There's actually not very many. There's not someone who's going to do their part for the friendship, but doesn't tune in or give me understanding.
Right. They're just physically there.
I did have a sid at one point. She wasn't a supportive friend, but she showed up for everything. She was really mean to me and very critical of me, but she showed up for everything and did her part. She always followed up. Breaking up with her was actually really hard because she was very committed to show up. I was engaged and she saw a picture of my fiance and said, "Wow, what a dog." Girl, I just told you I'm marrying.
But Laura,
God.
with the wisdom of 20 years behind us, was she wrong?
No, he was a dog. I wasn't marrying him because he was attractive. I was marrying him because he was kissing my ass, which turned out to be love bombing.
Marriage brings up so much weird stuff
Yeah.
for
Because
everybody.
it's such an intimate relationship compared to other relationships. You can have friendships and hide this whole part of yourself from them if you feel like that's not desirable. You can't do that in a marriage because you're just in it. You're in each other's space.
Well, even like weddings themselves, like I remember when I got the ring, this one friend was obsessed. She wanted to compare the size of our rings. What is going on? And she had a giant one. Well, great. Good job.
I'm so
That's
glad
awesome.
for you. She's been brought up to believe that if she did all the right stuff and if she did her hair the right way and she weighed the right stuff, her value was going to be presented to her in the size of the diamond. This is what I am worth. When I got engaged, I have a vintage, it's very pretty antique ring, but it's not huge. And I had a friend who comes from a jeweler family in his defense. And he said, oh, it's not like one big diamond, but it's a bunch of little ones. Yeah, that's what it is.
I remember same friend when I showed her my engagement ring, which I thought was really special because we had picked it out together in Scotland, kind of a BFD. And I was showing it to her and she said, oh, that's cute.
Oh,
no.
I don't really want my engagement ring to be cute, but thank you for the intel. After ending a toxic friendship, reconnect with your own needs and interests. Engage in activities that you love but might have neglected, whether it's socializing, hiking, painting, or anything else that brings you joy. Focusing on these things can help rebuild your sense of self and boost self-esteem.
A lot of things put you in the realm of other people who like that thing that you can maybe connect with. I think that that's a big reason to have hobbies, is putting yourself in a position of meeting other people who also like that thing.
I'm post separation, and now I gotta find things.
That I like. Right.
Yeah, remember things that I enjoy doing and making new friends, making new pastimes, hobbies that I enjoy. Sometimes I roller skate around my new apartment while watching BritBox. And yes, that is dangerous. My body could be found.
So it was David Bowie's birthday this week, and
Yes.
Portland has an annual skate party that is all Bowie based.
Year or two.
The first one I did after he died, I was surrounded by very young people who didn't know how to roller skate. They were not children of the 80s. They were constantly trying to pull me down like zombies. And I did okay until the last song. They were playing Black Star and I was crying, and a kid got me, bam, really hard on the elbow, hurt a lot. This week, I told one of my friends at work, I'm going to go to a David Bowie roller skating party. And she was like, oh, I would love to, but since 50, falling down is no joke. I guess not, but I don't think I'm going to fall down. I'm a pretty good roller skater. And then I had a conversation with my partner. He's like, well, are you going to pad up? I'm a pretty good roller skater, you guys.
I have pads now. I'm okay at roller skating. I roller skated as a kid, but I'm going to wear my helmet and my pads and my wrist guards.
Yeah. And make sure your phone's in your pocket. So when you're roller skating around your house and you knock yourself out, at least you can call 911.
This one's getting into it, Maria. Seek professional help. Sometimes the impact of a toxic friendship can leave you feeling depressed or anxious. Talk to a therapist for a safe space to process your feelings and learn strategies to build healthier relationships in the future. I always have this conflict when you're talking about being friends with comedians. You can be friends with normal people, but we don't have that much in common. I had a lady really make a bid for my friendship. If you don't like karaoke or comedy, I don't do anything else. Those are the main things that I do. I do think that comics are a little harder to be close with sometimes.
It's also exhausting because you're always talking about the same thing, especially the hustle culture of different cities. Everybody's on the edge of homelessness. I have 3 separate friends who are living check to check, and it's scary. That, I think, affects friendships.
I have some friends in Los Angeles who became very successful, and we stopped being very close, and their lives just took on a different shape than my life.
You're eating at different restaurants, I always say.
Right. When they're going to an Oscar party that is at the actual Oscars, I'm just not going to be there.
I've had that happen too, where there's just different things to talk about. It can be a little bit awkward. I'm once I'm sure somebody gets into a certain tax bracket. Wait, you're going to
You're going to the
Cannes?
Oscars? And
Yeah.
You're going to Maui tomorrow? That's fine.
you just bought a place to stay in the Sundance Festival? Practicing self-care, getting enough rest, eating well, making time for mindful movement and exercise. These basic acts of self-care can greatly improve mood, reduce stress, and help you heal. Trying mindfulness practices like meditation and yoga can help you calm your mind.
Nice.
Beautiful.
I heard that Maria likes activities. So I have a prepared activity. This is from the Imago relationship therapy model. When you end a relationship, here is the format. It's called the goodbye letter. And I do this for friendships and I do this for relationships. First, you start out with the background. What was it like being with me? You say, being with you was difficult. You told me my husband was ugly. You told me my wedding ring was cheap and you were drunk all the time. You showed up to that important event super drunk and didn't love that. But also you were fun. We laughed together. You always showed up for me when I needed you. You always did your part. Having a balanced idea of what the relationship was like.
Yes.
Then you go through the things that you will not miss. I will not miss you demeaning my fiance. I will not miss you peeing on the floor because you're so drunk. I will not miss all the things you won't miss. And then you go through, and this is the tougher part, I will miss. I will miss, she had this great dog that I was in love with. So I miss him. I will miss waking up in your apartment on a Friday morning with nothing to do and having breakfast tacos. And I say goodbye to that. And then you say the dreams that you say goodbye to. I thought we were going to go to Switzerland together. I thought you would be at my retirement party, all the things that I say goodbye to. Then the final sentence is, person, you are. And then you list 2 or 3 or 4 of their best qualities. You're funny, you're smart, you're very flexible with time, and you make me laugh. You're also self-centered, self-absorbed, you're an alcoholic, and you're mean. I am released from my past with you, and I am ready to enter into my future. Whenever I have a friendship end, that's the way that I go through it. And actually, when I ended a friendship recently, here are some things that I said to her. She got upset with me because she found out that for 6 months, I had been slowly backing away, but I hadn't said anything because she didn't feel safe to talk to about it. We had this vacation together and it did not go well. So I said, it hurts my feelings that you think that I would block my calendar, organize childcare, and spend the time and money to go to this place with you in order to make you feel bad. Right? It was kind of weird and sad. I think that our coping strategies and trauma are bumping up against each other in this situation. And I understand that you want to take some time to process our conversations and to table the subject. I just want to know how to navigate a relationship so that both of our needs are getting met. She said no thanks. And I respect that.
She said no thanks.
She said no thanks. She said she didn't feel like she could be herself around me.
But good for you putting it out there. That's so beautiful to have tried. Yeah.
And there is a kind of freedom in it because you're not trying to repair the relationship. These are the things that have to change. You're just like, hey, this is my experience of our relationship. You don't have to take any of this in. If you think that this absolutely doesn't apply to you, God bless. This was my experience. Laura, what are your final thoughts on this topic of toxic friendships?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you to Maria for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for being so kind to me.
My final thoughts are breaking up is hard to do no matter who you're breaking up with. But I think also spending time in a relationship that is making you feel horrible is worse than breaking up. Virginia, what are your final thoughts on this topic that Maria has brought to the fore?
I enjoy this topic because it's very easy to keep toxic people in our lives because it's easier than doing anything else. That's not taking care of yourself.
Well, and that's not the brave thing, right?
Right. I think it is very important to be with people who fill your cup. Everything around us is trying to empty our cup. Politics, showbiz, work. You need to find people and gravitate towards people who enrich your life, who bring you joy and that you can bring joy to. And having toxic or low grade, watery friendships is going to take you away from that. And it's going to take away your time and your energy. I think part of being elderly is the gift of knowing I only have so much time and energy. I can't do it all. And I don't expect myself to. Maria, what are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts are I'm so grateful for any relationships that I've ever had and that I can't wait for very uncomfortable conversations in the future.
I'm just gearing up for some really unpleasant conversations.
Oh, thank you so much. We've had so much fun talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me. And I'm going to go eat some elote.
That's good. Elote is a great food to feed your protest.
I agree with that. And Maria, if people want to find out about your show dates and also your upcoming Sundance documentary, NBD, how would they do that?
MariaBamford.com. Just Google Maria plus comedy. You'll be inundated. You could join my mailing list. You could do all sorts of things. And then you will never not know what I'm doing.
Maria, thank you for joining us.
We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Friendship with you is a precious thing to me, and I think it's pretty non-toxic.
Well, and Maria, Virginia says lots of nice things about you behind your back. I just want you to know that.
That's great.
You said you're very generous and kind, which I think is really important for friendship.
And you're very hopeful to me because I know that you have a new sweet pea. And I was like, oh, that's so great.
You don't have to have matching Scots. It's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay. They didn't match anyway.
Yeah. All right. Lots of love to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Have fun. Have a good Elote. Bye.
Bye. So Virginia, if people wanted to keep their friendships and go to one of your shows, how would they go about doing that?
Grab your best girlfriend and check out my calendar at Badinia.com. That's BADINIA.com. I also promote shows on Instagram under Badinia. Laura, how about yourself? Where can people find you?
They can find me if they want to work with me professionally at lauraryan.org. If they're interested in following my very silly TikTok account, they can find me at I am Laura Ryan on TikTok. If they're interested in following the show on Instagram, they can go to my Sisters of Therapist Instagram page. And if they want to look at all the episodes in one place, they can find that at mysistersoftherapists.com. Virginia, if people want to reach out and find us, how would they do that if they want to talk to us?
If you have a show idea or a compliment, or you want to tell me a story about a time you saw Maria Bamford, you can write us at hello@mysistersoftherapists.com. If you have a business opportunity for us, if you would like to have us promote a non-toxic vegan product, you can write us at hireus@mysistersoftherapists.com. These could include things like Kirkland Brands, Sunday Riley, Imperfect Foods,
Maria Bamford's new book.
Anything in the Maria Bamford. We'll promote Maria Bamford for Maria Bamford. We don't have a problem with it. But hit us up at hireus@mysistersoftherapists.com.
And what a delight Maria was. I wish she was still here, but I understand that she's a very busy lady.
Duty calls, baby.
Duty calls. She was exactly the way that I thought she was going to be, which is very rare that happens. So kind and warm and accommodating and sweet.
I hope you've enjoyed listening to Maria talk to us as much as we enjoyed doing it. If you do enjoy the podcast, we would love for you to write us a review, and we will share it on the podcast. You can write us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or on Audible. Or you can just write us a letter and tell us that we're great. That's fine also. Laura, do you have a little special something to share with us this week?
I do. I have an Apple review from Cali Girl 21. The title is, "This is better than you think it is, Deborah." Who the hell is Deborah? One's smart and one's funny, but who's who? Just kidding. They're both smart and funny and interested in people, relationships, therapy, and TikTok. Something for everyone and fresh discussions every Thursday. Thank you, Cali Girl.
Wow. I wonder if she really is 21 or if that's just when she started the
way
account.
She's writing, she sounds very mature.
Yeah. Thank you, Cali Girl. We appreciate you. And in the words of the person we appreciate the most, Billy Ray Valentine, Capricorn, we can make it, baby.
Me and you.
Bye-bye.